Okay.
So I just want to give you a quick summary of what we've been working on.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. I'm dealing with allergies. Okay, so as Superintendent mentioned, workforce housing project, we're scheduled to close at the end of next week. So I'm hoping that that close is successful and that it does happen by then. So as you know, the Alameda project is located on 400 and 440 Abbott Street. And the buildings that the district is currently purchasing is building 1 and 2. Okay, right in the corner there. And then behind this space is our parking area, along with some parking spaces here, and then 11 on Abbott Street. And you have a total of 50 units, and they consist of 2 studios that are 1 bath, 22 units that are 1 bed, 1 bath, 8 units that are 2 bed, 1 bath, and then 18 units, 2 bed, 2 bath. And the units are on the 2nd and 3rd story, and then the level floor is commercial space. And the commercial space is between 10,500 to 11,000 square feet in each building. Excuse me. And we also have laundry rooms on each end of the building, so 2nd and 3rd floor for each of the buildings. You have laundry rooms on both ends. It includes a play area, a fitness center, and then a common room. A common room that can be used, but if the tenants would like to use it for private parties, they can go ahead and put a deposit down and use it for the day, and then of course their deposit would be returned after their event. The funding, as you are aware of, the cost of this facility is $23.5 million, and it is funded with Measure W and the Certificate of Participation. Certificate of Participation is $10 million, and Measure W will be funding $13.5 million. Our ongoing cost for this project is a COP payment, which our first payment is next June of 2024. The property management firm, we have housekeeping of $2,500 a month. That includes the cleaning of the common areas, the hallways, the elevators and stairs, and $2,500 for the gym use, and the gym that includes everything, the cleaning, janitorial, and everything for the gymnasium, and then the landscape $720 a month, and then also utilities. I don't have an estimate for utilities yet, but that is also going to be an ongoing cost, obviously. The projected rental rates for the studio, we have 2 studios, as I mentioned earlier, and the market rate is between $1,800 and $1,850. And these are the rates for the units that are going to be rented next door to this property. And the reason why they have a range here is because some of the units have some uniqueness to them. So what they're doing is for those that have something that are unique, they're going to go ahead and charge a little more for that, for those units. So as you can see here for the studio 1 bath, the market rate is $1,800 to $1,850, and then all the other rates are listed there. I'm not going to go and discuss each one. So the way this works is what the district did is we took the lowest of the market rate. So for example, for the studio 1 bath, we're calculating the 70% market rate at the $1,800. So it's at the lower end. And for the beginning, unless I'm told different by the board, because we haven't approved or said the rental rates are not included in any of the documents that you're going to be approving today. The thought is that we would just go with the market rate, whatever the low amount is, and not charge any additional for any of the units that have anything unique to them. For this first time go around, right? I mean, if we want to change that in the future, we can bring that back. And then if you would like for us to proceed with that change, we can. But for the time being, the plan is for us to go ahead and just charge equal amount, regardless of what the unit looks like. So the 1 studio, 1 bath, it's $1,260, and then you'll see that the 2 bedroom, 2 bath, $1,750. The eligibility and priority guidelines, we reviewed those very closely, had a really good discussion as a committee, and for today I'm going to go ahead and just give you a brief overview of what it includes. So for the eligibility and priority guidelines, the maximum length of tenancy is 5 years. with the option for the employee to reapply after the 5th year. However, because we want to make sure that all the employees get an equal opportunity to take advantage of this program, take benefit of this program, they would have to be placed, of course, on the waiting list. If there's nobody on the waiting list and they reapply, then definitely, of course, they can maintain and stay in the unit. We also added a recruitment tool, meaning that for the first year, we're going to set aside 5 units for recruitment. And if these units are uncommitted on August 1st, we'll go ahead and we'll release them on that date for those individuals that are on the waiting list. The minimum household per apartment, the reason why we set this is because we want to make sure that depending on, say, for example, if you have a family that would like to lease a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, we want to make sure that we have at least 3 individuals living in that unit and not just 1 or 2, right? And the program is not available to management or the superintendent. It's just for classified.
That's not in the report.
I wanted to make sure he's paying attention, right? And then also the priority categories. So the priority categories are listed here, and as you can see that these priorities addresses full-time employees and part-time employees. Okay, so it just depends, and those are actually detailed in your priority and guidelines. Eligibility and priority guidelines. And then we move on to the area median household income. So currently what this states is the employees that have a household of 1, their income criteria needs to be between $45,000 and $72,080. And the same thing for, as you can see, the chart is listed here for you. And the source that we used for this was Department of Housing and Community Development. As far as the residential lease agreement, we provided that in the agenda. It's a 25-page document. And I think one of the things that I would want you to know, because we did have a lengthy conversation with the committee in regards to the security deposit. So the security deposit is going to be equal to 1 month's rent. And then with that, we also have our property management firm, Coast and Valley Property Management, Amy Salmina, and she is going to be the property manager for this project. And it's been great to have her be a part of our meetings, our last 2 meetings. She's been providing a lot of information to us, and I would like to introduce her. Are you doing it? Yeah. Now she looked at me like, Amy, coming up, I'd like to introduce you to the board of trustees. Would you like to say a few things?
Nice to meet you. Yeah. So we're a local management company. We're located in downtown Salinas. I'm 4th generation Salinas native, so I've been here all my life. Had 2 of my kids so far graduate Salinas High School. Another one in the district right now, and I have a little 6-year-old. But so we manage about 850 units. I manage the other side for the Herod family, so I'm super excited that they gave the opportunity to the school district because this is so very much needed. As we can see, I think it was like a perfect opportunity to talk about what you guys have going on, and I can't believe how much your board has to deal with. I sit on 2 boards that are not like this. This is really intense. You guys do a lot, but it's the amount of money and the things that you guys are doing and the contracts, and I mean this just really couldn't come at a better time. So I'm really excited to be a part of that, and this is a really wonderful project. And it's super nice, so I hope everybody will be able to see that. On the 4th of May, we're going to be having a grand opening. So it's for everybody. It's welcome, and I have it set through the Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be having an open house, and it's not just for the district side; it's for the other side as well, and giving some recognition of really what our district is doing for our community and our teachers and our staff, and what this local family has done for our local community and for our staff, and it's really exciting, so I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. Okay, and it's been great having her on and helping us through the meetings and just giving us some information in regards to some of the things that are so important that we don't really do, right? We don't run a residential business, but it's been great. We've been learning a lot from Amy, so thank you.
Thanks.
For being
Anytime.
Here. And I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier. I lost you in the crowd.
No, that's okay.
My apologies for that. My apologies. And with that, I also would love to thank the Workforce Housing Committee. They have put in a lot of work. As I said, we have had multiple meetings, and sometimes, some of the topics that we discuss are not easy, but I like the collaboration. We have all been, looking through the same lens. We're united to make sure that our employees take advantage of this great program, and we are very excited as a committee to be able to offer this and bring this information forward to the board. And with that, I'd like to, I love to pronounce their names because I'm just really grateful for the work that they have done. So we have Lucy Vega, she's a CSCA president. Katie Bassler, she's SBFT president. Carlos Rubio, our board president. We also have Tracy Feliz, our vice president for the board. Matt Huerta, he's the owner of Matt Huerta Consulting. Ray Herod, which is the owner of Herod Construction, the developer, and then Karen Luna, our consultant. Edgar Esquivel, our director of general services, and Zatem at ITAR, Community and Public Relations Officer. And I just really want to say thank you to the committee for all the work that they have done. And with that, I'm going to open it up to any questions, but the recommendation for today is that you approve the lease agreement and the eligibility and priority guidelines that are in your packet.
Thank you, great presentation, thank you. Can you share with us, I'm curious of what the uniqueness of some of the rooms are, or some of the apartments?
Definitely,
What
definitely.
is that?
Yes, so if looking at, say, for example, the corner of Abbott and Alameda, right in the corner, and that, for me, that really stood out, right? So when you walk into the units that are right in the corner, the walls are rounded, and it's all windows. So right when you walk in, it just feels like you're walking into this really beautiful, spacious space with the balconies right next to that, right? So so they're not all exactly the same. Some of them have balconies in certain spaces where the sun hits really nice in the morning. It's a little bit more private. So they are definitely some really unique architectural that they took in play here when they planned this project. Very nice, and I can't wait for all of you to see it.
And then my second question is, on the priorities, that was a lot of priorities. And so was those developed by the committee?
Yes, yes.
And so the company is gonna be working on the
Yes,
priorities?
definitely following the guidelines, yes, and the priorities, correct.
Wow, you got a lot of work too then.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
intense.
Some
Yes.
deed restricted properties, right? So like you have to qualify your income, we have to verify it every year and,
But that's a difference between following these priorities. There's just so many. So
Definitely.
anyway,
Yes.
I just wanted to ask if that was something that the district did or it was the committee together.
So we did, as a district, so we went ahead and we put, the recommendations in place, right? And then we discussed them with the committee, what they meant, what are other options? And then also some of the committee members went on their own and they looked into what other employee housing, what they had in place, and then they brought those recommendations forward. So when I said it was a collaboration between all the committee members in the district, it truly was.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, Anna, thank you for putting this together. I'm looking here at the, for example, household of one, income between 50, that's the area median income, 50% to 80%, 45,000, so that's about, roughly about $23 an hour you have to be making to be able to qualify. So if I'm thinking correctly, our supervisors who tend to be some of the lowest paid, are they going to be able to afford to move into these units?
Yes, and it just really depends on, right now, the structure that we currently have for campus supervisors, as we mentioned at the last board meeting, a lot of them are part-time, right? And we're thinking of reclassifying those, some of these positions, correct? But, so for example, when we're looking at the classified salary schedule, if you're a full-time employee, you would need to be on range, for example, 21, which are, we do have a lot of classifications between range 21 and 47 that would be eligible to apply. Now, let's say, for example, if they're married, right, it's by household income. So it just really depends on the household income. And we conducted a survey of employees, and we had good participation from CSCA and SVFT on individuals that are interested and that would qualify. So we had over 200 surveys, and for example, for classified, I think we had 115, and out of those 115, about 80 of them would qualify for this program. And that's assuming, say, for example, the other ones that don't, at this time, we didn't ask them for their household income, we only asked them for their personal income, right? It was a survey that went out to,
So if you're a
District.
part-time employee, then you would qualify under the priority group number 4 than the last one, right?
correct, correct. Mhm. So you can still meet the income criteria if, say, for example, your spouse, right, also works and you're a part-time employee.
Yeah, but then this would be a lottery, so it really doesn't matter, which priority you fall under, because you can draw.
So
from
the lottery would only be for the ones that are tied, right? So we have, say, for example, 2 that are on the wait list under number 3, then that's when we would do a lottery.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other
else?
questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Alright.
First of all, I want to thank everybody who sat on that committee, but I'm glad that Matt Huerta was part of that. He's so well versed in affordable housing and all the rules. I'm sure he was just so helpful. So then when you do the release to, applications are being accepted, are they gonna be able to fill it out online? Do they have to fill out a paper copy? And,
That is correct. That is going to be available online.
it's gonna go online?
Yes.
All the staff is aware of when that date is and?
So with the plan that we are, putting in place right now, that we're going to go ahead and put it on our website, and we're going to work with our IT department. It's going to be on our website, but it's going to be delivered, so Amy doesn't lose any time, right? So it's going to be live time. Whenever it gets submitted, she sees it right away.
But if
That could
if
be
I can add to that.
Yeah.
So employees have already been surveyed for who's interested.
Okay.
And a lot of this information was solicited in that survey. So that part's already really done. And we have to keep in mind, we have 50
I know.
units.
I know.
And over 200 people interested.
Yeah.
Right? So there might be some folks, the first roll around that actually don't get in the first round.
Because they don't
So-
qualify. We're doing
Or-
obviously a credit background check, all that stuff, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
So all those
Absolutely.
correct, yes.
factors come into play.
Yes.
Anybody else?
I had a question,
great.
just thought. We have 50 units, since Amy's managing both sides, is one unit per side for a manager? Or
No.
is one manager gonna do the whole thing?
So we
So,
can't have two or one manager, I mean, if it was one owner, that was the original plan, right? But because it's two separate owners on a different parcel, we have to have a separate on-site.
Okay, so one room,
So one firm, 2 managers, one on each side.
okay, so one apartment is gone then,
Correct,
Okay.
yes. Because law states that it's by owner and not by property.
correct?
But not technically not, so like, I mean, you still, like, we were only gonna give them a reduced amount of rent is what happens. And they still have to meet these qualifications, so it's not just like somebody that's, I mean, you're not gonna lose it to an outsider, right? This is still gonna be a staff employee, this is still gonna be something, they're just gonna be having to be our eyes and ears,
Oh,
be the on-site person, so that qualification doesn't change to lose that space for that one person.
So the one person will be a district employee that will be the manager, and their rent will be reduced even more?
They have to be.
To, what's the percentage of
So
that?
the reduction for that one person, so you can, anybody can look this up, it's anywhere, and so their rent will have to be 1/3, they have to be reduced by 1/3.
Of the rent,
Right, of the
okay.
rent.
And then, do we have an application and a process for that?
It's the same process as when we're doing this other stuff. The difference is that when this is something that we were discussing about how we were gonna handle it, that person will not necessarily be chosen by me. I will present that person, ultimately chosen by you.
Is that on the contract so they can like check a box that they would like to be that person somewhere?
Go ahead, we can add that, yeah, we haven't,
Okay.
yeah. So right now, we're still finalizing the application process.
Okay.
Yes,
Most people
yes,
are
not there
gonna
yet.
select that, right? Like, that's not an issue, and more or less, it's when we're in the interview process and I'm checking their background and all of those things. And part of the interview process is when we're meeting with them, if they're gonna be that right person, and we sort of know this is who's gonna be the right person, and we will bring you a couple people, if we feel this is gonna be the right person for you, I'll bring it to Anna, and she'll go ahead and approach it.
And they're only selected for 5 years too, right?
I mean.
Or is that person,
I mean, it
They're
should
the
be,
same
yeah, right, the
qualification.
same qualification, they fall under the same guidelines.
I have one more
no,
question.
go ahead.
So then, with those that are coming in, they only have 5 years, are we providing any kind of information or home ownership, like, you know, so that they can be prepared during those 5 years to become homeowners?
So that's our goal, is to get there. We're just not there yet,
Okay.
because that's gonna be a lot of research on the district end to write on things that we can provide, but there are a lot of programs and consultants that we can work with to bring this to them, right? To bring this information to the employees. Because, I mean, that would really, I mean, that would be a great goal, right? To be
Right.
able to provide them with that information, educate them on what opportunities are available, so that they can go ahead and eventually on their own be able to purchase a home.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with that same thing, you can, you know, what is it, what's the saying? You can, give the horse water, but you can't make them drink, you
Yeah,
know? It's like,
exactly.
you know.
Correct, yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
else? All right. Okay.
Oh, okay, thank
Do
you.
you want to stay there and talk on the next one then?
We have to do a motion and.
Oh, emotion, okay, never mind. Okay,
So moved.
so moved.
Second.
Second, Carrillo. All in favor? Aye. Okay,
And so before we move on, I just wanted to, now that I've met you, Amy, there's high expectations for May 4th, that we drive the narrative for the day, so we're going to meet. Okay.
You guys are more than welcome to
Okay.
have some input on that.
No, not input, not input.
Or-
We're going to drive it.
But I have to acknowledge the other side because that's.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, I'm like, there's-
We just have a speaker list of people that I think we need to coordinate on.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And so I'm already working with your person, just so you're aware.
Perfect.
We've already
Septem-
sort of,
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
collaborated.
She's
Perfect.
Working with
Okay.
the time on that, yeah. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Next item, award leaseback agreement, site lease agreement and sublease agreement for construction of the Salinas High School new two-story building project.
So let's just do, I mean, it's just, I'm looking for a motion to approve. Do we have any questions?
Did you want to talk on it a little bit?
No, I mean, unless you guys have any
Okay.
questions, I'm more than happy to talk on that. So this is for the, leases back agreement for the Salinas High School, two-story building.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So would this be the only proposal we received from Delbeck and Sons? Or do we receive multiple proposals?
So for this project?
Right.
So for this project, we received two, but the other one was incomplete. So we're moving forward with this one, but we still went through the scoring process. And this, they actually ranked, you know, with the recommendation for us to bring it forward for approval.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're on track as far as the building date that we have, you know.
Yes.
If we say we're gonna build it by this date, make sure we follow the timeline and build it by that.
Definitely, definitely. And the contract does include liquidated damages. There is a section on that in the agreement that you're approving today. And the plan is that, you know, as soon as these projects, especially now this one's under, you know, being approved, we'll be providing an update to the board, if not through Tracy as our board of facilities, maybe, you know, through our facilities department at every other month, to provide you with an update so that you know the progress and how we're moving on all these special projects that we have coming.
Yeah, because we had this where it got delayed so many projects and we don't want to fall in.
That's definitely right,
Yeah.
yes, we're on the same page.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the lease back.
Second?